It's the music jock thing, and it's it's always been there. It's in all kinds of styles, and it's something that is not musical ultimately. I think when I think of when I think of you guys doing something that I would call like at least related to prog would be like the breakdown in the middle of the descent where it's
Right, right. I
super
know what you mean.
technical and monstrous, but it's again like what you were saying for that climactic moment where it comes back and you come back to the verse again at the end, and it's just like, Gah!
Yeah, to build tension and play with like, and that's the thing. It's like I love playing in odd time signatures, like and I'm not saying this to be like, oh well, I'm the odd time signature man or something, but like in a for real sense, like if you handed me an acoustic guitar right now or something and just said, hey, like just play some free-form jams for me right now. Just play whatever comes to you or play whatever's natural to you. To me, because of the way I play, I think I like just play like that. Like
Yeah.
meaning like I just play like odd numbered pieces like all the time, and it's really rare that like I start blasting on some like even tempoed or 4/4 or 2/4 type rhythm stuff, and it's because my brain just doesn't normally think like that, and I think that most people generally it's the other way around, that they're more akin to normally playing in a 2/4 or 4/4 type mindset, and then they're kind of like stepping out of the boundaries when they start trying to play like shit in odd time signature and stuff. And so that was part of another point with the new album is that, you know, some of the parts on the album, not all, but some of the parts on the album are in straight tempo and straight time signature.
Yeah.
And I remember like when I was making shit up like that and playing with the other two dudes I do, like those guys are used to playing some tricky fucking shit. Like and like they I knew because of being real good friends with them, I knew that sometimes when I would whip stuff out like that, that just because they're like me and like snobbish, a little bit music connoisseur freaks, that they might like go like, Steve, you're like playing G or you're playing A G F G A, and it's over like a fucking normal
Four four.
4/4 time signature. Um, exactly why are you doing this right now? And like, and then I'd sit and explain like it's like, because like the goddamn beginning of the song is in some fucking whack. I'm talking about the song "Remember to Forget" right now
Sure.
on the new one, and because the beginning of the song is like dun 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 dun, and it's like in this fucking weird like I don't even know off the top of my head what the count is in that, but it has a rotating different time signature on both the fucking parts, and like and even when it changes to the more flowing stuff in it, the way that it changes is also in some fucked up kind of way. And so to me, like with that song kind of trying to deliver, like, that song's about like losing your memory and getting Alzheimer's disease kind of, and like, and you can't even like remember what you did 5 minutes ago or whatever, like, and I was trying to come up with like a musical and lyrical way to show what it must feel like for someone to be going through that, because my mom is got that, and
Oh
she's
wow.
yeah, and she's been hospitalized with it over the last couple of years, and so to me, like after you're going through all this fucking off kilter like controlled demented shit for like 2 minutes or whatever, once it finally gets to that end section and it's straight playing that, it's like there's a sense of relief almost,
Oh
like
yeah.
where the music is soothing for half of that part, and you're kind of, you kind of fall into the droning type of beat and the droning like simpleness of it, and it still stays with that rhythm in that tempo, but the second half of it, the distortion kicks in while it's still doing that, and it's like, it's just like your mind being blown or whatever. It's like so trying to like, express different things like that. I think in music, it's one of those things where, none of us, there is no manual, and so for me, keeping my palette open so that it's like, I'll use demented, fucked up structures when I need them, and then when I want to play simplistic, straightforward things to augment that, I don't care if someone sits back and goes, well, that's fucking some simple shit right there, or whatever. It's like whatever, man. You just put it on and listen to it, and after the whole song is over with, then tell me what you think. And if you still don't like it because you're a person that has to hear, or it's like, then fantastic. That's good for you. I would suggest going and buying a lot of early Rush albums and fucking locking yourself in a room with a batch of acid and go insane or whatever. But like, it's like, but like, I don't know. I just myself, like, I'm kind of, I've gotten to where with me, my choice of music and what I personally want to be intrigued by or what I want to listen to is definitely by mood of what I'm doing. If I'm off road and four wheeling and I'm raising ultimate hell, then I'll put on like Slayer and crank the hell out of it, like off of Rain and Blood or whatever, and rock's a classic or whatever, or if I'm hanging out with good friends and like we're drinking a beer or something like that, then I'll probably put on some David Allan Coe or some like outlaw country rock stuff. And if I'm on a long drive and my brain is feeling fatigued and I can't really like let myself get in that state, then I might put on some King Crimson or something more complicated so that I've got something to follow and something that's tricking my brain a bit. But like, it's like, I look at it like, if you want to have a varied and something that you can listen to the whole album and it not have to be about an activity that you're doing, then mix it up and go from one song that's like the beginning of the album is a turbo slow heavy metal type song to the very next one is like a mayhem blast off or whatever, and it's like, and just don't be afraid to do those things because, I think Lemmy said it best is, you gotta ram your flag up the pole and just see who salutes it.
Yeah.
So, not everybody is going to salute it. In fact, if everybody salutes it, then you probably play in the Bee
You probably
Gees
fucked up,
or something terrible like.
Well, super simple question that could probably have a long answer. Tell me about the title.
Well, Hank Austin, my son, made that song title up. So yeah, we were watching Shutter Island.
Oh man.
Sanitarium for the criminally insane. And
Sure.
we were talking about how they were trying to take away people's feelings, and I was explaining to him that people sense or feel pain because it's like an alarm. It's like something to let you know that whatever is going on right now is going to hurt you, and so to me, like the pain is a warning related to the album and the music is that kind of like those moments that I was talking about lyrically and realistically that happen is that, you know, it's like I'm going through life and I'm so worried about a fucking record label, and I'm worried about a recording studio, and I'm so worried about the band and the and the next album and the other dudes in my band and all these other million different things, and it took like the pain of freezing my ass off, like running out of food or whatever else, to like, you know, like kind of wake me up and like and shake me up in a way of like, it's like you need to move in a different direction. Like you cannot continue to move in this direction. You must move, and that's why it's saying heat and pain moves you. You know, it just meaning like it's like it's one of those things where, you know, it's sad, but like I think even Perry Farrell one time said something like you never know that you're all right until like say like a mosquito bites you or something, meaning like, because then you're not all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's like
yeah,
it's
exactly.
like that people are in a just stream of thought lifestyle where you wake up every day and the same shit happens,
Yeah.
and sometimes you'll just keep doing the same thing that's maybe not necessarily good for you, or like making you making you unhappy, but don't really notice it because nothing really has happened to you enough to jar you in. And that's why, like a lot of victims or people that like get into big time bad wrecks or whatever, like, you know, a lot of times they're like, you know, this shit was life changing, and it's like most people be like, God, I want to get hit by a semi truck, you know, I'm so glad I can change my life, but you know, sadly, it could be like the best thing that ever happened to you, because you might have been fucking going through life thinking everything's fucking awesome, and not wake up to like all of a sudden like it's like, hey, wait a minute, like what the hell am I doing?
What did you have to kind of scale back, and what kind of responsibilities did you have to take less of in order to get to that point where you were happier doing things with
Well, it's the whole process of making that album, like, meaning, okay, let's record an album. I've got a great idea. Let me get all the equipment serviced, and let me line up ordering the tape, and let me fucking get all the mic serviced. Let me, you know, get the whole entire band ready to go. Here, let me go out there and play with the band while recording the band, while we're playing, and then I'll come back in and do all the edits and all this shit, and then maybe like I can, you know, mix it down and then master it, and then, you know, and it's like, wait a minute, too much shit. We need to not do that this time. Let's concentrate on music. We got to make music number one.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll get one of my best friends, Kurt Blue, to record the damn thing, and then he can do all that, and I can not do that, and like, and it worked out beautifully because I trust him, and I've known him for like 13, 14 years. He attended my wedding when I got married like 13 years ago, and he's got really similar ideas and taste as me about like the kind of shit that he thinks is cool, and so that worked out great. And then with like the record label side of things, it's kind of the same deal again, called like, it's like, okay, so, you know, we've got to make an album, got to get it released, but we're going to need to do a bunch of marketing and blah, 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 blah. Oh, we got to get manufacturing going, whoa, you know, and no, we got to control the artwork and get like all this shit with everything, you know, and it's like, hey, wait a minute, I got a great idea. Why don't we get someone that we trust, kind of like Kurt with the recording, to put the damn thing out and let them worry about it, you know, because that's what they want to do. And so, good friends with Guy from Red Chord and Black Market Activities. He likes Today's Day a lot, and I'm like, okay, cool, let's do that. And so far, everything's been perfectly fine. I, you know, make the music and play the music. He sells it. Kurt recorded it. and, and it really, it just, you know,
it helps the art.
well, it did, and I tell you why I know that it did is that there were different moments during, like, recording that album where something was really important to me to do a particular way. Maybe it was like the way I wanted a vocal to sound, or the way I wanted like a particular guitar part to sound or be played or something like that. And I would be struggling, sitting there going like, God damn it, like, this is like the 10th, 12th, 13th time that I have done this same fucking thing, and I still haven't gotten it to be the way that I want to, and the pressure's mounting, and I'm getting madder at myself, and like, and I'm sitting there, and I thought to myself, like, hey, cool, guess what? Now just picture you like the way you are right now, and add on the responsibility that this shit's getting recorded and backed up on another drive, and you know, it's like it could only make me realize, like, God damn, when I've done this before, I must have been stressed out of my fucking mind, because not only am I stressed out by my own self about trying to get performances out of me, but I'm stressed out because I'm kind of like having to oversee it at the same exact time. And so, you know, it overall for me played out well, because I had my moments of hyper stress, but they probably were like 1/10 of the amount of stress that I felt doing it on my own or doing it by myself. And, you know, in the end, it's like, I think the record kind of breathed like that, like, real well, because it's like there isn't a sense of like just either over nitpicking or like just, you know, I don't even know what way to put it into words, but like when I listen to like the, you know, and I love the music itself, like on like the last album, Axis of Eden, and ones before it or whatever, but the difference that I can hear is that, like, it doesn't seem like that everything is uptight. Like, it's more like everything is loose and, like, free-flowing instead of, like, just really